So many people play the lottery or bet on sports and they just know that they're not going to be able to win that often. But it's all about having that potential big winning ticket in your hands. So today, we're going to play some fantasy lottery. What is going on, Headliner Nation? Hopefully everyone is doing well out there today. Today we're going to be talking about a few potential lottery tickets in fantasy football here for 2025. And we're talking about guys who are currently outside the consensus top 100 players. But not only are they outside the top 100, they have a great opportunity to well outperform their ADP. Now, if you want to better your chances at maybe making a little bit of extra money during fantasy football season though, we got you covered. We're partnered with Underdog and we want to play alongside you. This year, once again, we're going to be doing a ton of best ball drafts and a lot of player pick'ems. But I don't want to draft by myself with a bunch of randos. I want to draft alongside Headliner Nation. So if you think that you can beat me in best ball, now is the time to get signed up. And then together, we'll do player pick'ems for the entire NFL season. All you got to do is head over to Underdog Fantasy or download the app. Create a new account using the referral code Headliners when you do so. Then all you have to do is make your minimum $10 deposit and you're ready to go. You can get into multiple best ball drafts. You can do multiple player pick'ems and they're actually going to give you a free player pick'em and bonus funds up to $1,000. You do not want to miss out on all the fun we're going to have here in 2025, so be sure to head over to Underdog and get signed up now. But let's go ahead and let's dive in to a few late round potential lottery tickets here in 2025. But let's start off at quarterback and talk about Matthew Stafford of the Los Angeles Rams, the current QB 20 overall in consensus rankings with a projected ADP right around the 11th round. Now last year, Stafford hardly ever had all of his weapons healthy and on the field at the same time, yet he still went out and threw for almost 4,000 yards. Where he's struggled here as of late the last few years is touchdowns. But that right there is where things could be changing in 2025 because now they've added Davante Adams to this offense and he is a huge upgrade and a huge boost when it comes to touchdown potential. Adams really opens up this overall offense. He's going to give Puka Nacua lesser defensive attention and more one-on-one deep shots to Tutu Atwell. Plus, we know the running game is going to remain solid as well. It's going to keep opposing defenses honest. In a Sean McVay offense, which we've seen be highly productive when it comes to fantasy football, getting Matthew Stafford at such a cheap price on draft day really provides you a player with a top 10 ceiling at the position. So if you decide to punt the quarterback position early in your draft this year, take a high upside risk later on a guy like Matthew Stafford because he definitely provides that potential upside your team may need. Which brings us to Ricky Pearsall, wide receiver, San Francisco 49ers, currently the wide receiver 45 in consensus rankings. His projected ADP as of right now is all the way in the 9th round. And there were some high expectations for Pearsall coming out of the draft last year in the 1st round. But then he got shot and had an uphill battle coming into the season, and he didn't even really play until week 7. But we saw him flash at times in 2024. He only needs opportunity, and now in 2025, he should get it. We know that Deebo Samuel is gone to Washington. Brandon Ayuk is coming off a torn ACL, MCL, and he didn't even really look that great before his injury last year. So if you're San Francisco, you don't trade away Deebo with Ayuk coming off major injury unless you have confidence in the other guys on your roster. And we saw what Pearsall could do when given a chance towards the end of last season. He had over 200 yards and 2 touchdowns in just the last 2 games of the season. But now he comes into this year, he's fully healthy. He knows the offense. We know him and Brock Purdy have great chemistry. He's going to have a much larger role to start the season, and the consensus is just plain ignoring him. It just feels like so many people are only looking at Juwan Jennings and just ignoring Ricky Pearsall. Currently, the wide receiver 45 is almost a joke. Last year, that was like DeAndre Hopkins, who only had 2 good games in 2024. He ended the season with like 600 yards and a handful of touchdowns. Ricky Pearsall had 445 total yards and 3 touchdowns and barely even played last season. San Francisco has been top 5 in passing yards for multiple years, and now Pearsall comes in basically as the team's wide receiver 1A or 1B. He could easily top 1,000 yards this year and be inside the top 20 wide receivers in fantasy. Now, if you compare that to where he's being drafted, dude could easily be a lottery ticket this season. Now, a player that maybe has a little bit more of an uphill battle, it's Stefon Diggs, wide receiver of now the New England Patriots, currently wide receiver 44 in consensus rankings, with also a 9th round projected ADP. And yes, I remember that he's coming off a torn ACL and he's on the wrong side of 30, but videos are already coming out of him looking like he's in great shape and reports saying that he should be ready to start the season. Then you add in that he's now in New England, a team starved for offensive playmakers. Now, Diggs may not be what he was a couple years ago, but that's fine. You're getting him so cheap on draft day, your expectations aren't some huge stat line to end the season. But what if he is just what he was in Houston last year before the injury? Prior to injury, he was averaging 8 targets, 6 receptions, 62 yards, and a half a touchdown per game. If you project that over a full season, he's right around 136 targets, 100 catches, just over 1,000 yards, and 8 touchdowns. That's 204 half PPR points and puts him in the neighborhood of being a top 15 fantasy wide receiver. Plus, there's also a chance that he sees more targets this year on his new team than fighting for targets with guys like Nico Collins and Tank Dell last year. Now, we have to accept the fact that Stefon Diggs is not some surefire, bona fide stud year in and year out in fantasy football. But given the discount, compared to the potential ceiling, he is absolutely a potential lottery ticket for sure in 2025. But I want to end with a running back, and no, I'm not some San Francisco 49er lover, but it is another member of the 49ers. It's Isaac Gero, currently the running back 48 overall in consensus rankings with a projected ADP in the 12th round. And this one right here isn't rocket science. It's either the ultimate CMC insurance policy or a potential lottery ticket. Jordan Mason is gone. So if anything happens to Christian McCaffrey, then Isaac Gero becomes an immediate top 12 play in fantasy. Now, sure, there is that off chance that Christian McCaffrey stays fully healthy and Gero really doesn't do much this season. But if CMC were to miss, you set yourself up for either a huge boost to your team or the ultimate trade piece. Now, I will say this, if you draft Christian McCaffrey, then you better make damn well sure you get Isaac Gero as well. If you don't, I may question your fantasy IQ, but I'm also not opposed to trying to steal him a round or so earlier than the Christian McCaffrey owner if you didn't draft CMC. You will hold the ultimate bargaining chip and could get yourself another piece that your team desperately needs in exchange for him. Now, out of the guys in today's show, Gero may be the biggest lottery ticket of them all. He truly is a 50-50 shot to do anything this year. But there will be a lot of people that buy that ticket in 2025. A lot of people do not have faith in Christian McCaffrey staying healthy. And now with Gero being the next guy up, who we've seen in this offense before and seen him produce in this offense before, he could be in line for massive work. There's also that off chance that he still sees touches weekly to keep Christian McCaffrey fresh. To me, this is kind of like a Bijan Robinson, Tyler Algier situation. Now, if you end up taking Gero in the 12th and McCaffrey stays healthy all year long, yes, you wasted a draft pick, but it was in the 12th round. Those are the rounds you're supposed to be taking some risks. You should have already solidified a solid roster in the first 10 to 11 rounds anyway. This is the perfect time to play the lottery and hope you hit the jackpot. All right, so there you have a few late round guys that we need to pay attention to here this offseason, because if nothing changes, we're going to get them at a huge discount and at a point to where it's worth the risk of taking them. Now, just like we always do, I want to be interactive with you, the viewer, so leave me a comment down below. Who do you look at as a potential late round lottery ticket in fantasy football here this season? I'm making it a point to be super active in the comment section here this year, so if you leave a comment, there's a good chance you're going to get a response. Now, before I get out of here, just a quick reminder, our draft guide is already live. If you haven't purchased one already, now is the time to do so you can dominate in 2025. All you got to do is head over to tfhdraftguide.com and get yours right now, and get it before June 1st because the price goes up June 1st. Try to save yourself a few bucks. Now, there's links to that down below in the description, but I'm going to go ahead and get out of here for the day. Hopefully you enjoy the rest of your day, and then most importantly, do your part to make the world a better place.